Welcome to Question It All, a channel dedicated towards simplifying educational topics. The purpose of today's video is to try to understand the NCERT of the 11th standard based on fine arts. While this video is catered towards those appearing for the UPSC exams as it deals with the Art and Culture section of General Studies 1, it can equally benefit those studying it at school as well as those inquisitive about our country's rich heritage and culture. So without further ado, let us begin with Chapter 1, which deals with prehistoric rock paintings. Now the first question that we might ask ourselves is what do we mean by prehistoric times? As we've all come to learn, history is the study of the past, using evidences such as written records, artifacts, and other such sources to understand the continuity and changes in social, political, economic, and cultural life. It is through these remnants of the past, ranging from inscriptions to statues or even coins, that we are able to piece together the story of the past and to understand the different changes that have taken place in society as well. Therefore, based on the availability of written records, the study of human history is divided into three distinct periods. But what about the time in history when there were no such written records? Well, this period is known as prehistory. Prehistory or prehistoric times refers to that period where there was no language or written words, and therefore no books or written documents. Then how did we come to learn about this period? The simple answer is through excavations, which we will get into in a bit. The second phase, proto-history, is an intermediary phase between prehistory and the historical period in which written records exist or are scarce but is yet to be deciphered. A brilliant example is the Harappan or Indus Valley Civilization script, which is yet to be deciphered. And finally comes the historical period, which is characterized by an abundance of well-documented written records. So to sum it up, prehistory has no written record. During proto-history, written records exist but are undeciphered, and in the historical period, there are numerous written records. Well, the question then arises as to how we've come to learn about the prehistoric people. As we had just discussed, the lack of documented sources of writings made it difficult to understand the daily life of the prehistoric people, which was until scholars discovered where they lived. These scholars then went on to excavate these places, giving light to tools, pottery, bones of humans and animals, as well as drawings on cave walls. So in the absence of written records, scholars have utilized the remains of the prehistoric people, such as tools and painting, to shed light on their way of life via excavating numerous sites. Well then, why did the prehistoric people draw these paintings? It is believed that when humans were able to fulfill their basic requirements of food and shelter, that they felt the urge to express themselves, which gave rise to some of the oldest art forms of painting and drawings on the walls of the caves, which were used as a canvas. They may have done so to add some color into their lives by decorating their shelter, or to keep a record of their day-to-day activities, similar to maintaining a diary. Now, where have we discovered these prehistoric paintings? Prehistoric paintings exist in many parts of the world. Their existence during the lower Paleolithic period is unknown, but by the upper Paleolithic period, there is a rapid increase in their number. For those of you unaware of the prehistoric cultures in India, you can refer to this slide. Ancient history is divided into different periods according to the tools used by the people. Paleolithic period or the Old Stone Age is further divided into lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic depending on the tools used. Paleolithic is followed by Mesolithic, the Neolithic, the Chalcolithic, and finally the Iron Age. We will study about them in detail when we deal with the NCERT based on ancient history in the near future. We are well aware of the fact that the prehistoric people drew. But what is it that they drew about, or what was the subject of their drawings? Well, the subject of their drawings consisted of human figures, human activities such as hunting, geometric designs like circles and lines, and animal symbols. These are recurring subjects found throughout the country. One of the most important questions relating to the findings of such prehistoric art is to the location of the earliest paintings found in India. With respect to India, the earliest paintings have been reported from the Upper Paleolithic times. Archibald Carlyle, an archaeologist in 1867 to 68, made the first discovery of rock paintings in India at Sohagaghat in the Mirzapur district of Uttar Pradesh. This was done 12 years before the discovery of Altamira in Spain, which is a similar cave complex. Some of the early archaeologists who discovered a large number of sites in the Indian subcontinent are Cockburn, Anderson, Mitra, and Ghosh. An archaeologist is a person who studies human history and prehistory through the excavation of sites and the analysis of artifacts and other physical remains. Archibald Carlyle and Sohagaghat in Mirzapur district of UP are important facts to be remembered with respect to the first discovery of rock painting in India. Moving on to the most important aspect of the chapter that deals with the locations of rock paintings in India. The remains of rock paintings have been found on the walls of the caves in several districts of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, and Bihar. Some paintings have been reported from the Kumaun Hills in Uttarakhand as well. From Kashmir, 2 slabs with engravings have been reported. These are some of the states in India that have been excavated to provide us with prehistoric art. A fine example of prehistoric rock art are the rock shelters on the banks of the river Suyal at Lakhudiyar in Uttarakhand, about 20 kilometers on the Almora-Barchena road, known as Lakhudiyar Rock Paintings. Lakhudiyar literally means 1 lakh caves. The paintings here can be divided into 3 categories: man, animal, and geometric patterns in white, black, and red ochre. Ochre is a natural clay earth pigment ranging from yellow to deep orange or brown that contains ferric oxide. The prehistoric people utilized naturally occurring resources obtained from their surroundings to paint these drawings. Humans are represented in stick-like figures: a long-snouted animal, a fox, and a multiple-legged lizard are the main animal motifs. A motif meaning a design or decoration. Wavy lines, rectangle-filled geometric designs, and groups of dots can also be seen here. So the subjects in Lakhudiyar are those of humans, animals, and geometric designs, and the people here used ochre, which is a natural pigment or color, to draw them. An interesting scene in the Lakhudiyar caves is of the hand-linked dancing human figures. There is some superimposition of paintings as well. Superimposition is the act of placing one image or object on top of another so that both are visible, often for comparison or artistic effect. For example, the earliest paintings are in black. Over those are red ochre paintings, and the last group comprises white paintings. The categories of paintings, the colors used, as well as the representation of humans, animals, and geometric patterns are important points to note with regard to the Lakhudiyar paintings. In South India, the granite rocks of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh provided suitable canvases to the Neolithic man for his paintings. There are several sites, but famous among them are Kupkallu, Pikliha, and Chalcolithic of Andhra Pradesh. These paintings belong to the late historical, the early historical, and the Neolithic period. Three types of paintings have been reported from here: paintings in white, paintings in red ochre over a white background, and paintings in red ochre. The subjects depicted here are bulls, elephants, sambars, gazelles, sheep, goats, horses, stylized humans, tridents, but rarely vegetal motifs. There is not much to understand here, but a lot to remember. So breaking up each site by the location, the colors used, and the animals depicted, as well as the period to which they belong, is to be kept in mind. Prehistoric rock art is incomplete without the mention of Bhimbetka rock shelters. The richest paintings are reported from the Vindhya ranges of Madhya Pradesh and their Kemurian extension into Uttar Pradesh. These hill ranges are full of Paleolithic and Mesolithic remains due to the fact that they are rich in forests, wild plants, fruits, and streams, providing a perfect place for the Stone Age people to live in. As we had learnt earlier, that prehistoric people wanted to express themselves once they had satisfied their basic needs, and these ranges provided just that. Among these, the largest and most spectacular rock shelter is located in the Vindhya Hills at Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. Bhimbetka is located 45 kilometers south of Bhopal in an area of 10 square kilometers, having about 800 rock shelters, 500 of which bear paintings. It was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2003. The caves of Bhimbetka were discovered in 1957 to 58 by eminent archaeologist V.S. Wakankar. The themes and paintings found here are of a great variety, ranging from the mundane or boring events of daily life to sacred and royal images. So these drawings give us an insight into the day-to-day lives of the people who resided in these caves. These include hunting, dancing, music, horse and elephant riders, animal fighting, honey collection, decoration of bodies, and other household scenes. The rock art of Bhimbetka has been classified into various groups on the basis of style, technique, and superimposition. The drawings and paintings can be categorized into 7 historical periods. Period 1 denoting the Upper Paleolithic, Period 2 the Mesolithic, and Period 3 the Chalcolithic. After Period 3, there are 4 successive periods. Due to the easy availability of food, water, and shelter, these caves provided shelter to people belonging to different periods, and therefore their art is categorized accordingly. With respect to the drawings of the Upper Paleolithic period in the Bhimbetka caves, they are linear representations in green and dark red of huge animal figures such as bisons, elephants, tigers, rhinos, and boars, besides stick-like human figures. The green paintings are of the dancers, while the red ones are of hunters. A few are wash paintings, but mostly they are filled with geometric patterns. So the standouts during this period are the huge animal figures and the differentiation in color with respect to dancers and hunters. A large number of paintings belong to period 2 that covers the Mesolithic paintings with respect to the Bhimbetka caves. The themes are multiple, but the paintings are smaller in size. Hunting scenes predominate, with people hunting in groups, armed with barbed spears, pointed sticks, arrows, and bows. In some paintings, primitive men are shown with traps and snares, probably to catch animals. Hunters are shown wearing simple clothes and ornaments. Some men may have been adorned with elaborate headdresses and sometimes painted with masks as well. So, in comparison to the paintings of the Upper Paleolithic period, we are provided with much more detail with respect to the people drawn. While in the Upper Paleolithic period, the hunters and dancers were differentiated only by the colors used. In the Mesolithic period, the hunters are clothed in ornaments, wielding arrows and bows. With respect to Mesolithic paintings that deal with hunting, animals such as elephant, bison, tiger, boar, deer, antelope, leopard, panther, rhinoceros, fish, frog, lizard, squirrel, and at times birds are also depicted. This gives us an idea of the fauna or wildlife that inhabited their surroundings. Mesolithic artists loved to paint animals. In some pictures, they are seen chasing men, while in others, they are being chased and hunted in return. Some of the animal paintings, especially in hunting scenes, show a fear of animals, but many others show a feeling of tenderness and love towards them. There are also a few engravings representing mainly animals. So the large number of Mesolithic paintings paint us a broader image of the relationship between prehistoric people and animals, of their interactions and feeling towards these beings, in pale comparison to those of the Upper Paleolithic period. Though animals were painted in a naturalistic style, humans were depicted only in a stylistic manner. This conclusion can be arrived to by the various drawings found. Women are painted both in the nude and clothed. The young and old equally find place in these paintings. Children are painted running, jumping, and playing. Community dances provide a common theme. They are paintings of people gathering honey from trees and of women grinding and preparing food. Some pictures of men, women, and children seem to depict a sort of family life. In many of the rock shelters, we find handprints, fist prints, and dots made by the fingertips. So, unlike the animals which are depicted as themselves, humans are shown performing various activities along with the representation of all ages. We are also informed of the various sources of food as well as the preparation of such through these paintings. The artists of Bhimbetka used many colors, including various shades of white, yellow, orange, red ochre, purple, brown, green, and black. The paints were made by grinding various rocks and minerals, while the brushes were made of plant fiber. They got red from hematite, known as Geru in India. Hematite is an iron oxide compound. The green came from a green variety of a stone called chalcedony, while the white might have been made out of limestone. So the rock of a mineral was first ground into a powder. This may have then been mixed with water and also with some thick or sticky substance such as animal fat or gum or resin from trees. What is amazing is that these colors have survived thousands of years of adverse or unfavorable weather conditions. It is believed that the colors have remained intact because of the chemical reaction of the oxide present on the surface of rocks. So the different colors used, their sources, as well as their resistance to time is what has kept these paintings alive. Well then, what are some of the observations that we can deduce from these paintings? The paintings, though, from the remote past, do not lack pictorial quality. Despite various limitations, such as acute or severe working conditions, inadequate or scarce tools and materials, there is a charm of simple rendering of scenes of the environment in which the artist lived. The men shown in them appear adventurous and rejoicing in their lives. The primitive artist seems to possess an intrinsic or inborn passion for storytelling. These pictures depict in a dramatic way both men and animals engaged in the struggle for survival. In one of the scenes, a group of people have been shown hunting a bison. In the process, some injured men are depicted lying scattered on the ground. In another scene, an animal is shown in agony of death and the men are depicted dancing. These kinds of paintings might have given man a sense of power over the animals he would have met in the open. Both proportion and tonal effect have been realistically maintained in them. It is interesting to note that at many rock art sites, often a new painting is painted on top of an older painting. At Bhimbetka, in some places, there are as many as 20 layers of paintings, one on top of another. The reasons could vary from the artists not liking their creation, or some of the paintings were considered sacred or special. Else the area may have been used by different generations of people at different times. We can conclude by saying that the prehistoric paintings help us to understand about early human beings, their lifestyle, their food habits, their daily activities, and above all, to understand their mind, the way they thought. Prehistoric period remains a great witness to the evolution of human civilization through numerous rock weapons, tools, ceramic, and bones. More than anything else, the rock paintings are the greatest wealth the primitive human beings of this period left behind. It is through these paintings that we are transported back in time to the life of the prehistoric people. So let us do a quick recap of all that we've learned today. It is important that we learn to be inquisitive and begin to question it all to better understand the things we aim to learn. So if any of you have any queries, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Keeping in line with the theme of the video, what do we mean by prehistoric times? It is a period with no written document. How do we know about the prehistoric people? Through excavations. Why do they draw? Because they have the urge to express themselves. What do we know about the prehistoric paintings with respect to the location and subjects? As far as the location is concerned, they exist in many parts of the world. With respect to India, they can be found in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Kashmir, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. The subjects depicted range from human figures, human activities, animals, and geometric patterns. With respect to the prehistoric paintings in India, the first discovery was made in Sohagegarh of the Mirzapur district of Uttar Pradesh by Archibald Carlyle. We then went into details of the paintings at Lakhudiyar in Uttarakhand and Bhimbetka at Bhopal. Prehistoric paintings of different periods that we looked at are the Paleolithic and Mesolithic with respect to the Bhimbetka rock shelters. We learned about the various animals that were depicted along with the human activities as well as the colors that have been used to bring to light these treasures of the prehistoric times. That is all there is to learn about in this chapter. If you do have any queries as mentioned, feel free to comment and I will respond accordingly. If the video proved helpful, do show your support by liking it. For future content regarding art and culture and various other topics coming up in the near future, do subscribe. Until next time, take care.